That's a Dodge 239 V6 Magnum, 1998, sitting on a GMC frame. Tell by the LS mounts and whatnot. So I just made solid motor mounts for now. It's probably going to suck. I'm probably going to want to put some rubber pieces in there, but I can do that once I get running and on the road and everything. So what we've got here now is an electrical issue. I'm trying to use the original computer off the 98 Dodge van, which I don't think it has any kind of theft deterrent, any kind of junk, because when you disconnect not the column, when you disconnect the cluster, which is the only thing that's connected to this, it still seems to want to run in the existing van that does still work and has the engine in it. So this one should go too. That's a A999 or a 32RH, whatever you want to call it, temporary. I know it's four-wheel drive on the frame, but it's going to go two-wheel drive just until I get a four-wheel drive setup I like. So what I got to do now is I have got two main positive leads. I got one here from the Dakota, that the 95 Dakota this motor come out of. Well, actually no, just the starter. And then I've got another battery lead positive from the fuse box. They're supposed to be on the other van. There's two leads coming out of the positive terminal. One of them goes to the starter, one of them goes to the fuse box. On this, there's only one. And I'm not quite getting where the second one's supposed to come from, so I'm just going to run a jumper to it. It shouldn't take that much power, because there's nothing really running off it, except maybe the alternator field and the injectors, if it decides to fire them, the coil. So that's a getting away with it sort of thing. I don't think this thing has cruise control. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, because it didn't come with the module for that. It came with everything else. Like this is a completely, that's a completely uncut Dodge van wiring harness that they unplugged every damn piece of, except for one ground that came off the chassis. They painstakingly disconnected every single thing they could possibly disconnect. It's kind of cool. It was a government job. It was from a college. Like they did not cut anything. They disconnected the power steering. Well, there's another cool thing. Apparently the power steering on this and the power steering on the Chevy, the power steering on the Dodge, okay, let me start that again. The power steering fitting coming from the pump from the Dodge is the same as the power, okay, wrong. Try this again. Come on, brain, we can do this. The power steering fitting on the gearbox on the Chevy is the same as the one that's on a Dodge. It's 18 millimeter metric O-ring boss fitting. So it shouldn't be too terribly difficult to adapt to the other device. The other steering pump, just hook the Dodge steering pump up to the Chevy box and away we go. It's got a little, this was the only real part of the interference I was coming up with. That's not too awfully bad. It's a little high up in the frame because that steering pump is kind of low. But it's okay, it'll work. So now what I've got to do, I think if I power this up, it should, in theory, when I tell it the ignition key's on by hooking up the light green with a black striped wire, the battery positive, it should start moving around stuff. It should move the intake air control and stuff around and click a couple of things on here. I don't have the OBD2 plug for it. I've got a spare one I can wire into here so I can see if it thinks it's on, if it knows who it is. But there's where we're at. Looking good so far. I mean, even if this computer doesn't work, I can just wire a Speeduino into it real quick and be done with it. I just kind of like to keep it stock because it's just sort of, it's one whole complete unit, and I sort of wanted to keep it that way until I needed to. Of course, it's a Dodge 1998 V6 computer out of a van, so nobody's really going to be too interested in that. Well, we'll see. Alright, that's it for that. I'll see you later.